Hi, Justin here with the Atlanta Brick Company, and I am honored to share the same air as this gentleman right here. This is Mark, and he is the father, you might say, of our esteemed Bricky Bobby. Now, Mark, let's get to know you. You've worked for the store for how long?
I think it's about 4 or 5 years now. So
Okay.
quite a while. Yes.
I know we see your face up front, your smiling face up front a lot,
Yep.
but you've also done a lot of the custom jobs
Yes.
around the store.
A lot of the model building is up to me and John, but mostly me, I would say.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. What's the thing you're most proud of? Maybe the most difficult?
Right. So a couple years back, Chris was contacted by some people at a medical convention. And they needed somebody to live build a 5-foot sculpture of a blood vessel, a vein, and all the cells coming out of it. So not only do we have to build something that was gigantic and tens of thousands of pieces, but also we had to construct it live at a show. So me and my brother managed to accomplish that just in the nick of time. It was amazing.
How long did that take?
It was a 3-day build. So
And who designed it?
that was me. It was.
Okay.
It took me about a month to plan everything out, order all the pieces, get that all set up. So that was just like huge. I had a headache for like a week after that. So it was awesome.
Do you design on computer first, or how do you do it?
A lot of people would, and I know that a lot of Lego Pro designers do as well, and that would make it so much easier. But unfortunately, I didn't have access to the software, so I just did it all in my head. So it was
Wow.
very challenging, but it ended up working perfectly. All the measurements and the planning just worked out. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you've done other custom builds for the store, like a customer, I don't know if you guys know, but the Atlanta Brick Company does do custom, so if you have like a battleship or something that you wanted, we do that, and this is the guy who does it.
Yep.
Any of those that stick out in your mind?
I liked we had to do a World War II, I think it's a P-2 patrol boat, and so it was just a really cool little ship. It's not, it was scaled to minifigures, so it's just like a really big yacht that they just rode around in during World War II, and it was a really fun build. So we did that for a guy who got it for his kid for Christmas. So it was like, it's something that Lego certainly doesn't do, so it was very interesting to do that. We had to get a lot of different wedges and get the shaping just right, because they didn't have a boat hull that was the right color or the right size, so we had to kind of build it with small pieces instead.
And every once in a while, corporations will contact us and for certain builds and things like that.
Me and John are usually assigned those tasks, yeah, for sure. And yeah, people will contact the store all the time because there's not a lot of like independent Lego stores, and sometimes even the official Lego groups will recommend us because they just simply do not have the means or the ability to do that. That's not what they're designed to do, those stores and whatever. So we get forwarded these requests, or they find us, and so we get these kind of things all the time, and it's pretty fun. So
That's awesome. That is awesome. So let's talk about the man, Bricky Bobby here. I'll back up a little bit. He's quite an achievement. Now, Mark, you are how tall?
I am 6'3", so he's pretty tall. He's about 5'2", 3". He's pretty tall. I think he was around the 65,000 pieces, and he weighs about 400 pounds because of all that weight and all those structures inside there. He's very difficult to move. It takes about 2 or 3 people. You have to very carefully move him around. So he usually just stays planted in the front greeting people.
And tell me how this guy.
Yeah,
I won't
he's
do.
sturdy.
Is he? Oh, he's pretty sturdy.
He's
Okay.
a chunky boy.
He is. Bricky Bobby is exactly upscaled 32 times?
Yes. We were measuring the parts of the minifigure as finely as we could, and then we would say it has to be this dimension. So I'd have to extend it a little bit more, or make it a little taller to match the perspective of a minifigure. Because again, we didn't use software. We just built this by hand and kind of by eye and measuring. Like, so his torso is this wide. I forget how tiny it was. It was like mini millimeters. And so yeah, everything is as close as possible to the scale of an actual minifigure.
So was that challenging for you? You seem like you're more of an organic builder. You just kind of build as your imagination, as your hands take you.
Exactly.
So this guy, you had to have this, like it has to be so many studs and all that. So you almost had to work backwards.
A little
This is
bit.
the space confined. Was that really challenging?
It was very different from what I normally build. Normally I'll just kind of, yeah, it looks about right. But in this case, he was more measurement based, and so it was a bit different. But at the same time, science to prove that the more constraints you have, the more creative you can be within those constraints. So it was a challenge, but at the same time, it was actually, I found it very helpful in a way, because it's like I know that it has to be this size, so then I can work within those
Yes.
sides. So it's like I know exactly where the limits are or should be. So I was able to, instead, there was less guesswork actually.
Yes. There's Chris bringing in some more stuff. Chris is kind of like the other father of Bricky Bobby.
Exactly. He's the brains behind the project there.
Let's talk about how he's actually constructed. Now,
Right.
is he bricks all the way through?
He is, but on the inside, he's not just solid bricks. He's got a structure, a webbing, a scaffolding on the inside, so it's like very carefully interlaid and organized bricks. So there are gaps in between. It's almost like a honeycomb. So basically, he's not 100% solid bricks mashed together. He's got a little bit of hollow spaces in between them, but he is very, very solid. So it's like how they would build like lightweight materials for like an airplane. There's
Okay.
going to be some meshing and air pockets
Yes.
inside. Like yeah. So in other words, he's as solid as he can be, but we're trying to make him a little bit lighter, a little bit stronger
Yes.
maybe than just because if you had solid bricks, it's solid, but it actually might be even a little stronger with carefully interwoven pieces. So yeah.
Is there anything other than Lego? For instance, did you use a wood or metal frame at any point? Okay.
So at the very base, there's it was a umbrella stand for an exterior patio umbrella, and that's a big granite square, and that was like I think 50 or 60 pounds, just that, and it has a pole going up to about his chin, all the way through his torso, and we drilled spots for pieces to be inserted, a lot of Technic bricks, so all throughout he has interwoven to his spine pieces. And so yeah, he has a spine, and then for his shoulders, we couldn't find any pieces strong enough and yet still actually functionally movable to hold
Yeah,
this, because this arm is like probably 30 pounds, well not like 20 pounds maybe, and it's just too much strain for an individual piece. So we got PVC pipe for like a hose or like a irrigation, and so we inserted that into his shoulder. And then his arm has a bone of PVC pipe inside his arm, and the arm is then attached to that. So that's the only points that are not Lego. Everything else is all his meat and his muscle is built out of Lego.
So the arms move, but nothing else, right? The head
The
does not
arms
move.
move, and that's about it. The legs are solid; they don't move. His head can move because it's not fully attached, but we keep him looking forward to the future. So.
That's right. That's as he should be.
Exactly.
Lego will live on.
Greeting the customers as they come in.
That's right. So about the color, how did you guys decide on green and blue pants?
Yes, we were actually hoping to give him a red shirt initially, but we just could not find enough red bricks. We needed, tens of thousands of them. So we had plenty of green sitting around. So we're like, well, it looks like he's going to have a green torso today.
Supply controlled the creative design. Like you were
Exactly.
saying, constraints
Exactly.
make you more creative.
Creative constraints. So green shirt, and then we had plenty of blue as well. So we had blue legs, no problem. We just scrounged up enough yellow for his hands and face.
Did you have to order any bricks for this? Or was this all stuff on hand?
We did not. We had it all on hand. We had plenty of green pieces. I forgot where Chris even got them, but I think he was partially driven by the fact that we had so many of those pieces. We're like, we should do something with it. Let's do a minifigure. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, who did have the original idea?
I'm sure it was Chris's original idea. He's like, Mark, I got a project for you. It was actually, I think it was like January, February, and it's a little bit of a quiet time for this store. They're like, we can keep Mark busy by building this minifigure. So.
And this is just a screen printing?
This is actually like a decal, like for a window or a car. So we carefully applied that, because you probably could have gotten the pieces to make Atlanta Bricko, but it would have been a lot less legible. So we just figured it'd be easier to put a auto or window decal right on his front. Because
lot more.
If you think about it, Lego actually prints their pieces, so we're kind of doing the same way on a larger scale.
Exactly. He's got a fire hydrant with him?
Yep.
Is that in case he has to go to the bathroom? Or?
I'm not sure what the original purpose of that was, but someone actually just traded that to us, and because it was a large life-size Lego model that we just had sitting around, we're like, we'll just put it with Bricky Bobby so he has something setting for him. So yeah.
Who came up with the name Bricky Bobby?
That was actually I think it was a Facebook poll that Bricky Bobby won. I'm not sure about that. I think it was originally suggested by one of our set inventoriers, Tracy. But I'm not sure. I'd have to ask around and double check that.
I think that suits him.
Yeah,
I think that's
Bricky
perfect.
Bobby. Yeah. I'm not even sure what I was going to recommend. It was going to be a different name, but anyway, I think Bricky Bobby's perfect.
Back when you guys used to do conventions for the store, did he ever come?
No,
Has he ever been moved?
He was built just after we started kind of dialing down on the conventions.
Okay.
And so he never had to go anywhere. He was always built in this building to greet people in this store. But yeah, now that conventions are on pause for the near future, yeah, he'll be happily parked right here.
He's a homebody.
Exactly.
He's a homebody. Well, he is certainly awesome. Like you said, he's the person who greets people as they come in. He's
Exactly.
become the iconic mascot of the store. So people love him. I love him.
Yep. Exactly.
And you're his dad, so you have to love him.
I love Bricky Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah. That's about it. That's Bricky Bobby.
Thank you, Mark. Anything else you want to say? Do you have like a Twitter or anything that you
I've
build
got
on?
an Instagram. I got
Okay.
a Facebook page. It's Mark of Fallworth. That's my pen name, my Lego alias. So go ahead and look that up. You can see some of the stuff I build just for fun.
All right, well, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you.